welcome to our lesson on dividing decimals by whole numbers, where we'll be using easily identifiable multiples and place value understanding. Let's begin with a review of some multiplication of decimals. On this side, we have 4 times 2/10, and I wrote it out so that we can really easily see what we're multiplying. If I have 2/10 and I show that 4 times, we'll have 8/10, and we write that 0.8. 3 and 2/10 times 4. I can also decompose this into 3 ones, 2/10, and I'm showing that 4 times. So that will help when you're placing these into your place value chart. All right, so I have 3 ones 4 times. That would be 12 ones. I have 2/10 4 times. That would be 8/10. So when I write that out in standard form, we'll have 12 and 8/10, or 12.8. And let's just look at a quick word problem. Let me adjust the little stand here. Luis buys 4 chocolates. Each chocolate costs $2.35. Luis multiplies 4 times 235. So pretty much ignored the decimal at first, and gets 940. Place the decimal to show the cost of the chocolates and explain your reasoning. They're really asking, did he pay $940? Did he pay $94? Did he pay $9.40? Or did he pay 94 cents? They're not sure where to put the decimal here. So if we use our matrix strategy, and I broke apart the $2.35, I'd have 2 ones, 3/10, and 5/100. That's 0.05. And I multiplied that by the 4 chocolates. We have 8 ones, 1 and 2/10, and then 20/100. When we add those together, we do get 940. But our decimal is right here, 9.40. The only place that makes sense is between the 9 and the 4, because he will pay between 2 times $4, which is 8, and 4 times $3. So they used estimation. The candy bars, the chocolate, were between $2 and $3. So if he bought 4 and they were closer to $2, they're saying 4 times 2 is 8. And if he bought 3 and they're $4 each, that would be 12. So we know with estimation that the answer will be somewhere between 8 and 12. If we put the decimal after the 4, that would be 94, and that's way too high. If we put it before the 9, it would be 94 cents, and that's way too low. So this is like Goldilocks. It's just right. And let's move on to our division problems. I put problems 1 through 3 right next to each other down here. And we're going to be drawing pictures to help us solve these. So I have 9/10, and I'm dividing them into 3 groups. Now, when you're doing these, you can either draw your 3 groups first, or you can show your 9/10 first. But you need to pick and stick with your strategy so you can get really strong with it. So I'm going to draw my 3 groups first. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to draw in my 9/10, and I'll show those using dots. And I'm going to put 1 in each group until I've used up all 9/10. So I have 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10. So how many tenths do I have per group? 3/10. Now you can see if I drew out the 9 dots first, I could pretty easily group them up into 3s. Let's try the next one. 24/100 divided by 4. I'm going to start with my 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'll put in my 24/100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. All right, and I'm out of hundredths. You just have to make sure I went 2 at a time or 1 at a time, that you're putting in equal amounts. So I shouldn't have more in one group than the others. And in each group I have 6 hundredths. So 24 hundredths divided by 4 is equal to 6 hundredths. And then finally for this last one, we're using thousandths. For this one, I'll start by drawing out my 32 thousandths, and then I'll circle them into 8 groups so you can see the opposite way of how I've been doing it. And then you can pick your favorite. So I'm going to draw all 32. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And those are my thousandths. And now I'm putting them into groups of 8. 1, 2, you might have some guess and check when you do this. 2, 3, I know from my math facts 32 divided by 8 should be around 4, so let's try that. I'm putting 4 in each group, and we're going to see if I get to 8 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see how if I got the 4 part of this wrong, it would be really hard because I'd have to erase and start over now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! So there are 4 thousandths in each of my 8 groups. Okay. For the next chunk, we'll look at problems 4 and 5 a little bit differently than how we just did. And we'll do it by kind of decomposing the numbers. So if you see a problem that says 1 5/10 divided by 5, I can regroup my 1 into 10/10, and I have 5/10 here. So now I'm only working with 15/10. If I take my 15/10 and divide it into 5 groups, that's a lot easier to me than seeing 1s and 10ths and trying to break up that 1. So remember, you can always use manipulatives or write it out like this so that you're regrouping 1 whole for 10/10. So if I have 15/10 and divide it into 5 groups, I have 2, 3, 4, 3/10 in each group. Okay, and for this one, I have 1 5/100 divided by 5. I'm trading out my 1 whole for 10/10, and then I have 5/100. So now, instead of 1s, 10ths, and 100ths, I just have 10ths and 100ths. That's a little bit easier for me to work with, and now I can put my 10/10 into 5 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll put 10/10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now I need to split up my 5/100 into 5 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here are my 5/100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just gonna make this into a place value chart so I remember that these are different units. Otherwise I'll think all these dots might be all 10ths or all 100ths, but these ones are my 10ths and these ones were my 100ths. So I have 1, 2, 2 10ths in each group, and I have 1 100th in each group. So my quotient is 21 hundredths. For the next part, you and your team will actually pause and discuss. Let me fix the camera here. You'll pause and discuss, and then when everyone's done pausing and discussing, you'll do this little reflection at the bottom. So for right now, you are going to pause and discuss this question. Compare the relationships between 4 8/10 divided by 6 is 8/10, and 48 divided by 6 is 8. And then the problem right below it, 4 800 divided by 8 equals 51 hundredths, and 408 divided by 8 equals 51. So this is problem A, problem B. You're talking to your team about what is the difference between this and this. What do you notice about the numbers and about the decimal placement? Same with this and this for B. What do you notice? What's similar? What's different? For your reflection, this part is on your own. On a scale from 1 to 10, how confident do you feel about dividing decimals by whole numbers after this lesson? With 1 being I didn't understand it at all, and 10 being I could teach it to someone else. You might even be in the middle, kind of a little less, a little more. On the bottom of your paper, just write reflection and your number rating so that I know. Thanks so much.